Welcome back to 11 O'Clock Rock. Today we have a very interesting interview guest, I should say, a paranormal investigator, J. Adam Smith. Welcome to the show, sir.
Well, thank you, madam.
And you know how I knew that? His shirt says it.
It's right here.
That's right.
Pimp it out.
And right underneath is a website. You can go to knoxghost.com. Now, I would imagine we're in peak season now for ghost tours. However, you're saying this is a year-round thing.
Yeah, I'm real honored to actually say that Knoxville's history is really doing well for me. We have over 30 ground zeros, and with the amount of stuff, it's like we got to keep this thing going on around here all the time.
30 ground zeros, what is that exactly?
Ground Zero with Cold Spots Paranormal, our organization, is basically saying that it's a location that we've researched and it's factual, and it is a location that something traumatic happened. So we call it a ground zero on our investigations and tours.
How does one become a paranormal investigator?
Oh, lots of practice.
Yeah.
Lots of practice. You got to do a lot. You got to do a lot of investigations, and you have to, there's certification areas that you can go. I actually got certified down in Florida, just to get a good base of it. I want to make sure that when you're investigating, there's a lot of possibilities that you can not really know what you're doing correctly, and you have to really kind of go through the correct channels to know how to conduct a good investigation and all that.
But what piqued your interest in it to begin with? Just curious. Has this been a long time? I mean, something you've always known that you might want to do, and then you finally, there was a reason why you pursued it heavily?
Is this truth or dare part?
No.
Okay. Actually, I got into it due to, I guess, peer pressure in a way. I actually had a house that was haunted down in Florida. And I felt like I wasn't in control of my house. So
wow, that's incredible to me. I mean, I know a lot of people are out there go through that sort of thing. I just can't imagine actually living in a house and feeling like there's something else living there. So your job is to go in and kind of feel it out and see what is really going on. What's your first? What's the first thing that you have to kind of cross off your list when you walk into a home that the people have called you in to kind of scope it out?
Well, I mean, the first thing is kind of getting a bearing of the location itself and saying, okay, what's going on with this location? Let's get a reading, let's get a feeling. I'm actually the team medium and psychic on the team, so going into the location, I want to get an idea of what do I feel and all that. So I'll go around and just kind of judge on what's going on, and typically I'll get a pretty strong. Can
you feel like a certain energy when you walk through the door? Is that like pretty immediate, or do you have to kind of look around first and then you get that feeling if you get one at all?
Being a psychic and medium is a completely different experience than you can really experience. It kind of hits you on the chest. You just know for a fact that something's there, and of course once you connect to your abilities as a medium and a psychic, you're going to start getting answers to what's going on there. Sometimes you get pictures and images and all that. So with the images and all, you can pull yourself together. For example, I crossed over a 20-something-year-old person that died on the property about 1950. So they were on the location for about 60 years. So I'm getting there, kind of connecting to it and feeling and sensing what's going on, and finding out that it was a young lady. She died before the property was there. It was natural causes, but for some reason she didn't cross over and go to the light. So therefore, she's been trapped there. So I was able to go there and find out because I could sense it. I could feel it on me. Something was very panicky, very scared. And then after we crossed over, the whole place, the energy changed. The place felt relaxed. There was no pain, no fear, no anything going on there. And that's the idea. Our investigation group is different than any other paranormal investigation group. We're actually a spirit release. So we handpick locations that need help. People who need help or the spirits that need help, that's what we do. So we're not just ghost chasers or hunters. We're actually trying to make a difference because of the reason why I got into this is I felt alone in my home down in Florida. I didn't have anyone to call. There was no Ghostbusters available. So with that being said, I took care of it and I said, you know what, other people in the same situation as me, they need help, they need someone to call. Well, we're going to be there for them to call. And that's the reason we pulled together. And then the ghost tours just happened to come together saying, oh my gosh, I love Knoxville. What an amazing history here in Knoxville. So going through and finding 30 ground zeros is like, we need to let the public see these locations and know about Knoxville and what's going on.
Right. So it's not just like a Halloween fun thing to do. I mean, obviously it would be really fun to do it on Halloween. But I mean, it's like you said, a history lesson too. You can do this year round. How many places do you see in one tour?
We average about 7 or 8 ground zeros per tour. We have 2 hours, and it's $20 a person, if you guys are asking.
They were. I could hear them.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, we go to 7 or 8 locations, and the neat thing about this tour is it's one of a kind in the country. No one else has anything like this, that a true factual ghost tour being led by true paranormal investigators. You get to be the investigator. Our slogan is "Be the Investigator." So I really think that we have something really special here. And like I said, everyone who goes on a tour, whether you're a history buff or really into paranormal investigation, everyone will just have a great time.
Has Jack Neely been on any of your tours?
I tell you what, my new tour guide, Laura Still, she's actually a published poet. She's friends with him, and we're going to see what we can do about getting him involved, because the neat thing about it is I'm sure he's smiling, honestly, because all of our stories are true. And I think that's the most important thing, is that we're conserving that history, that true past.
Yeah.
So we're going to see what happens. We might have a little help from Mr. Neely.
And all these locations, too, are right downtown, so basically it's 2 hours, you said, and you just walk from one location to the next. You might get a little spooked, but bottom line is you're going to have some new knowledge based on our history here in Knoxville.
Exactly. We really, I put my heart's passion into this to make sure that we have everything to make everyone excited and enjoying the tours as much as possible. And I really feel satisfaction is guaranteed on our investigation and group.
You mentioned the $1 Million Fire earlier when we were talking about some of the truths that you uncover and some things that no one ever talks about. Tell us about the $1 Million Fire real quick.
$1 Million Fire, interesting enough, it's one of those stories that kind of, you'll lose it after a while. It's been well over 100 years, and the information that we researched, finding out that normally you'll hear, oh yeah, the curse of the white mule that dropped dead outside of the downtown.
Before it happened? Is that what happened? The white mule passed out in front of...
It didn't pass out, it actually died.
Oh, okay.
So they had a little bit...
So it wasn't like a fainting goat or anything, it actually died. It was like before the fire.
I'm not sure, because I doing the research, there's nothing about any white mule dying, but when going through the facts and the information, we actually pulled up the paper from the next day from the fire, and going through it and kind of our jaws dropping and hitting the ground and saying, what? People lost their lives? What? Multiple pictures saying we're looking for the dead at Hotel Knox. I haven't heard of anything like that, and a lot of people in Knoxville haven't heard anything about that. And that's just one of the stories that we're letting everyone know about, is saying, look, we're going to give you some true information, and it's cool to find out about our history and not forget about it.
Wow, this sounds like a lot of fun. Now, do people get genuinely freaked out? I mean, there's some things that you can't take with you on these tours, like a camera or a tape recorder, right?
Right. Just because of privacy, and all that. Now, we are going to be planning some specialized tours for those who are really, really into it, wanting to spend more time. Of course, this is kind of an express tour. In 2 hours, hitting 7 or 8 ground zeros. We're not spending the amount of time that TAPS would be doing it or anything like that. It's an express investigation, but ultimately, if you keep track and following us, we're on Facebook, Haunted Knoxville Ghost Tours, and just keeping up with us. We're going to be sharing with you some of the cool things we're going to do. We're going to try to get some locations, actually do some more in-depth research and all that kind of stuff, and investigations at the locations.
Do you ever call someone that and say, hey, I've got a little bit of history for you involving your home? No, you probably just leave them alone. Let them come to you. You don't want to...
Oh my gosh. Well, we are still in a bit of a taboo age, I guess you can say. So, going to and say, hey, by the way,
were you aware of a murder that took place in your home?
Yeah, I just want to make you feel as uncomfortable as possible at your home.
To become investigate. No, you mentioned there's a lot of equipment too that's needed to kind of investigate these paranormal activities, right? So does some of the money raised from the tours go towards that?
Yes, that's a great thing about this, is the idea that it first started out as an investigation group. And then, of course, if any of you guys are in an investigation group, you know that the money comes normally out of your pocket. So it's like that's what you're pulling out. Having this, it allows to have money being able to go into that organization to be able to help out those people in need. So building EMF detectors and different kind of cameras and different things like that, and even travel. Travel can be a major difficulty. Hotel rooms, spending the nights, and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, it's really, I think it's a really good system we have in Knoxville, the ability to really help people and have an organization that can help drive and a paranormal research group, you know.
Well, it sounds like a very cool thing you're doing, and also something worth checking out too. Knoxghost.com. Go ahead and look into it. I think this sounds like a great date night.
It really is.
You know,
I think I remember
better than a scary movie.
Yeah, I think the last tour, I looked over, I was like, oh, you guys are smooching a little bit. Okay, I did my job. I did my job.
J. Adam Smith, thank you so much for coming on and telling us all about these paranormal activities happening here in our downtown Knoxville. You guys don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with some more music.
Yeah.